The coffee maker gurgled its last drops into the pot, while Jennifer stood at the kitchen island, scrolling through her phone with that particular intensity that meant she wasn't really reading anything. She was waiting for something or someone. "You planning to eat breakfast?" I asked, pouring myself a cup. She didn't look up. "I already ate." "When?" "Does it matter?" It didn't, really. But the way she said it, like I'd asked her to explain quantum physics instead of a simple question about breakfast, that mattered. That was new, or maybe it wasn't new, and I'd just started noticing. I sat down at the table with my coffee and the newspaper. Yes, I still read the actual newspaper. Jennifer used to find that charming. Used to. "Mitchell wants me to stay late tonight," she said, still not looking up. "Big client presentation tomorrow. Mitchell always wants you to stay late. That's what happens when you're good at your job." There it was again. That edge, like every sentence, was a tiny paper cut. "I wasn't criticizing," I said. "Weren't you?" I took a sip of coffee instead of answering. The silence stretched out between us like a cat waking up, lazy and unbothered. She finally looked at me, and I saw something in her eyes I hadn't seen before. Not anger, not frustration, something colder. "You know what your problem is, Tom?" she said. "I have a feeling you're about to tell me." "You're comfortable. Too comfortable. You think everything's fine just because nothing's actively on fire?" I set down my cup slowly. "Is something on fire?" "No, that's the point. Nothing's on fire. Nothing's anything." She grabbed her bag from the counter, the expensive leather one I'd bought her for her birthday last year, and walked toward the garage door. "I'll be home late. Don't wait up." The door closed with a soft click. Not a slam. That would have been too honest. Too real. This was calculated. Controlled. I sat there for another 10 minutes, staring at my coffee going cold, and I realized something. I hadn't argued back. Hadn't defended myself. Hadn't even felt particularly hurt. I just watched it happen. That's when I knew things had changed. Not because of what she'd said, but because of how little I'd cared. I got up, rinsed my cup, and went upstairs to get ready for work. My job as a logistics coordinator for a construction supply company wasn't glamorous, but it paid well enough and left my mind clear. Jennifer worked at a marketing firm downtown, the kind of place with exposed brick walls and a coffee bar that served 6 different types of milk alternatives. We'd been married 8 years, met at a mutual friend's wedding, the usual story. Nothing special, nothing terrible, until recently. I couldn't pinpoint exactly when things shifted. Maybe 3 months ago? 4? She'd started working longer hours, started being less available, started looking at me like I was a piece of furniture she'd grown tired of but couldn't quite justify replacing yet. I finished getting dressed and headed to my truck. The morning commute gave me 40 minutes to think, and lately I'd been thinking a lot. Small things I'd ignored before were starting to form a pattern. The way she angled her phone away when texting, the new perfume she'd started wearing, not the one I'd bought her, something else, something sharper. The gym membership she'd suddenly started using religiously after 2 years of it sitting unused. People don't just change their routines without reason. I pulled into the warehouse parking lot and turned off the engine. I sat there for a while. Don't jump to conclusions, I told myself. Don't be that guy who sees shadows where there's only light. But the thing about shadows is they're always attached to something real. Work was work. Inventory checks, vendor calls, scheduling deliveries. My boss, Frank, was in a good mood for once, which meant he actually said good morning instead of just grunting. Small victories. Around 11, my phone buzzed. A text from Jennifer. Forgot to mention, staying at Sarah's tonight after work. Too tired to drive home late. Sarah, her coworker, the one who'd gone through a messy divorce last year and apparently decided everyone else's marriage should join hers in the ruins. I typed back, "Okay, drive safe." That was it. No miss you. No wish you were here. Just acknowledgement. Transactional. I stared at the message for a long moment, then opened our text history. Scrolled back through the last month of conversations. Working late? At Sarah's. Meeting ran over. Can you pick up dinner? Don't wait up. Nothing that screamed emergency. Nothing that proved anything. But nothing that proved anything either. I put the phone down and got back to work, but something had shifted in my head. A switch had flipped. I wasn't hurt. I wasn't angry. I was curious. The rest of the day dragged. I left at 5, stopped at the grocery store, picked up something for dinner. The house felt different when I got home, empty in a way that had nothing to do with Jennifer's absence. I made myself a sandwich, ate it standing at the counter, then went upstairs to change. That's when I saw it. Her laptop was on the bed. She always took her laptop to work, always. I stood in the doorway, looking at it like it might explode. Don't, I thought. But I walked over anyway. It was closed, but not locked. I opened it. The screen lit up. No password prompt. She'd been logged in before she left. Her email was open, work stuff mostly, invoices, meeting requests, the usual corporate noise. Then I saw a message thread that wasn't work. No name, just a phone number in the sender field. Last night was perfect. Can't stop thinking about you. Sent 3 days ago. Her reply. Same. Thursday? Can't wait. I closed the laptop carefully, like it might shatter if I moved too fast. Stood there for a full minute, just breathing. Then I opened it again and took photos of the messages with my phone. Clear shots, dated, time-stamped. I didn't know what I was going to do with them yet. But I knew I wasn't going to do nothing. I went back downstairs, poured myself a bourbon, and sat in the dark living room, thinking. Jennifer was having an affair. The proof was thin, but it was there. And more importantly, I knew. The not knowing was over. Now came the hard part. Most men would have called her right then. Demanded answers, made threats, broken things. But I'd spent 8 years watching Jennifer operate. She was a strategist, always 3 moves ahead. If I came at her now, emotional and unprepared, she'd spin it, make me the crazy one, the jealous, paranoid husband who invaded her privacy. No, if I was going to do this, I was going to do it right. I finished my bourbon and went to bed early, slept better than I had in weeks. The next morning, Jennifer came home around 10. I was already up, reading the paper like nothing had happened. Morning, she said, dropping her bag by the door. Morning, coffee's fresh. Thanks. She poured herself a cup and leaned against the counter, looking at me with something like suspicion. You're in a good mood, she said. Am I? You seem different. I folded the paper and smiled. Just a good night's sleep. How was Sarah's? Fine. We stayed up too late talking. About what? Work stuff. You wouldn't be interested. Probably not. She studied me for another moment, then shook her head and headed upstairs. I waited until I heard the shower running, then picked up her phone from the counter where she'd left it. No passcode needed. Face recognition. I held it up to her purse where her sunglasses were resting, saw the reflection, adjusted the angle. The phone unlocked. I opened her messages. Scrolled to the unknown number. More texts. Dozens of them. Going back 2 months. Not just texts, photos. Him shirtless. Her in lingerie I'd never seen. I took screenshots of everything. Sent them to myself. Deleted the sent messages from her thread so she wouldn't see. The shower shut off upstairs. I locked her phone, put it back exactly where it had been, and went back to my paper. When she came back down, hair wet, she grabbed her phone and glanced at the screen. Everything okay? I asked. Yeah, why? You looked worried. Just checking the time. She kissed me on the forehead, quick, perfunctory, and headed for the door. See you tonight, she said. See you tonight? The door closed. I sat there, staring at nothing, feeling nothing. Then I smiled, because now I knew exactly who I was dealing with. And more importantly, she had no idea what was coming. I didn't confront her, didn't change my routine, didn't give her any reason to think I'd found anything. That's the thing about being underestimated your whole life. You learn to use it. Jennifer had always been the shiny one, the ambitious one, the one people noticed when we walked into a room. I was the guy standing next to her, smiling, saying the right things at the right time, background noise. She'd stopped seeing me as a threat years ago. Maybe she never had. So I became invisible on purpose. I started saying yes to everything. Late dinners, no problem. Weekend plans with her friends, sure. That expensive restaurant she wanted to try, well, let's go. I was agreeable, pleasant, boring, and I watched. The affair had been going on for at least 2 months, maybe longer. The guy's name was Ethan. I'd figured that out from cross-referencing the phone number with some basic online searches. Ethan Crawford, 34, real estate agent, divorced, no kids. He had one of those websites with professional headshots where he's leaning against a brick wall wearing a suit with no tie, trying to look approachable but successful. The kind of guy who says, circle back, in regular conversation. Jennifer met him through work. He'd been a client at her firm 6 months ago. They'd stayed in touch. Of course they had. I found his office address, his home address, his gym, watched his social media. He posted a lot. Too much. Photos of closing deals, motivational quotes about grinding and winning, pictures of expensive watches he probably leased. He was exactly the kind of guy Jennifer would fall for. Shiny, ambitious, all surface, no depth. I kept my distance, didn't follow them or do anything stupid, just collected information, receipts, timestamps, patterns. Jennifer worked late every Tuesday and Thursday. Those were affair nights. She claimed girls' nights on Fridays. That was a lie, too. I'd driven past Sarah's house last Friday around 8. Her car wasn't there. Neither was Jennifer's. I didn't need to know where they were. I just needed to know she was lying. The hard part was pretending everything was normal, eating dinner together, making small talk, sleeping in the same bed. But I'm good at compartmentalizing. Always have been. 2 weeks into my observation phase, Jennifer came home in a particularly good mood, humming while she made tea, almost friendly. "You seem happy," I said. "Just a good day at work? Big project?" Something like that. She smiled at me, really smiled, and for a second I saw the woman I'd married. Before the affair, before the lies. Then the moment passed. "I'm thinking about going away for a weekend," she said. "Sarah wants to do a spa thing in Napa, girls' trip." "Sounds fun. You don't mind?" "Why would I mind?" She studied me for a moment. "You've been really easy lately." "Easy?" "Agreeable. Not pushing back on anything." I shrugged. Life's too short to fight about small stuff. "Huh? What?" "Nothing. Just, I guess I'm not used to you being so laid back." "Maybe I'm growing as a person." She laughed, actually laughed. "Maybe you are." That night, she initiated physical intimacy for the first time in weeks. I went along with it, played the part. Afterward, she fell asleep quickly, her back to me. I lay there staring at the ceiling, thinking about Ethan Crawford and his stupid motivational quotes and his leased luxury car. Thinking about how Jennifer had smiled at me earlier like I was a puppy who'd learned a new trick. Thinking about how much I was going to enjoy ruining both of them. But not yet. Not until I had everything I needed. The next morning, I called in sick to work. First time in 3 years. Frank wasn't happy, but he'd get over it. I needed a day to do some real reconnaissance. Jennifer left for work at her usual time. I gave her 20 minutes, then followed. Not in my truck. I'd borrowed my brother's sedan the night before, told him I needed it for a work thing. He didn't ask questions. I stayed 4 cars back, watched her pull into her office parking garage downtown. Then I waited. She came out at lunch. Met Ethan at a cafe 3 blocks away. I watched from across the street, sitting at a bus stop with a newspaper. They looked comfortable together. Too comfortable. The kind of comfort that comes from routine. He touched her hand when she laughed. She leaned in when he talked. They stayed for 40 minutes, then went back to their respective offices. I followed Ethan. He drove a BMW. Leased, probably. His office was in one of those new mixed-use developments with overpriced coffee shops on the ground floor. I parked across the street and watched the entrance for 2 hours. Around 3, he came out with a woman. Blonde, professional. They walked to a nearby restaurant. Business meeting? Well, maybe. But the way he touched her arm when opening the door suggested otherwise. Interesting. I took photos. Lots of them. Ethan Crawford wasn't just having an affair with my wife. He was juggling multiple women. This was useful information. I drove home, returned my brother's car, and was sitting on the couch when Jennifer got home at 7. "Good day?" I asked. "Exhausting. You?" "Just worked from home. Feeling better?" "That's good." She kissed my cheek, mechanical, habitual, and went upstairs to change. I pulled out my phone and scrolled through the photos I'd taken. Ethan and Jennifer at lunch, Ethan and the blonde outside the restaurant, Ethan's car, his office building. I sent everything to a cloud storage account I'd set up, encrypted, backed up. Then I deleted the photos from my phone. Jennifer came back downstairs in sweatpants and a t-shirt, Saturday clothes on a Wednesday night. "Want to order takeout?" she asked. "Sure, Chinese?" "Perfect." We ate in front of the TV. Some crime drama Jennifer liked. I watched her more than the screen. She was relaxed, happy even. The affair was giving her energy, making her feel alive. Good. Let her enjoy it. Because I was 3 moves ahead now, and she had no idea the game had even started. That weekend, Jennifer announced she needed to go into the office Saturday morning. "On Saturday?" I asked. "Big deadline. Can't be avoided." "Need me to bring you lunch?" "No, I'll grab something." "Okay." She left at 9. I gave her 15 minutes, then followed in my truck. She didn't go to her office. She went to a hotel, one of the nice ones near the waterfront, valet parking, glass elevators. I didn't follow her inside. Didn't need to. I already knew Ethan's car was in the parking garage. I'd seen it on my way in. I sat in my truck for 3 hours, watching the entrance. They came out together at 1, walked to their cars separately. Professional distance in public. Jennifer's hair was different, freshly styled, her makeup heavier than when she'd left that morning. She'd brought a change of clothes, maybe kept them in her car. I took more photos, time-stamped, geotagged. Then I went home and made myself lunch. Jennifer came back at 3, looking tired but satisfied. "How was work?" I asked. "Productive." "Good." She went upstairs to shower. Again. I sat at the kitchen table, eating my sandwich, thinking about the next phase. I had proof now. Clear, undeniable proof. But I wasn't going to use it yet, because divorce wasn't enough. I didn't want half of everything. I wanted her to lose everything, and that required patience. The proof kept piling up. Not because I was actively searching for it anymore. Jennifer had gotten sloppy. Or maybe she'd always been sloppy, and I'd just been too trusting to notice. Tuesday night, she left her phone on the bathroom counter while she showered. Screen unlocked. I scrolled through her text with Ethan, more photos, more lies about where she was going, more planning for their next meetup. One message caught my eye. Ethan. "When are you going to tell him?" Jennifer. "Soon. I need to figure out the finances first." Ethan. "You shouldn't have to wait. You deserve to be happy." Jennifer. "I know. Just need to be smart about it." So she was planning to leave me on her timeline, after she'd figured out how to maximize her take in the divorce. Classic Jennifer. I took screenshots, backed everything up, and put her phone back exactly where she'd left it. When she came out of the shower, I was sitting on the bed, reading. "You okay?" she asked. "Fine. Why?" "You've been quiet lately." "Just tired. Work's been busy." She nodded, not really listening. Got dressed, left the bedroom. I waited a few minutes, then followed her downstairs. She was on her laptop at the dining table, working, supposedly. I made us both tea, set hers down next to her. "Thanks," she said, barely looking up. "No problem." I went back to the living room, turned on the TV, and watched her reflection in the dark screen. She wasn't working, she was texting, smiling at her phone. I felt nothing. No anger, no hurt, just cold calculation. The next morning, while Jennifer was at work, I went through our home office. Filed away in the back of her desk drawer, I found something interesting. Bank statements for an account I'd never seen before. Joint savings account. Except it wasn't joint with me. The account was in Jennifer's name and someone named Claire Hastings, her coworker from the marketing firm. Opened 6 months ago. Current balance, $78,000. I sat there staring at the statements. Our actual joint account had maybe $30,000. Where had this money come from? I photographed every page, every transaction. Then I dug deeper, found transfer records. Jennifer had been moving money from our joint account to this secret one. Small amounts, 500 here, 1,000 there, nothing that would trigger alerts. But over 6 months, it added up. She'd stolen nearly 40,000 from me, and Claire was helping her hide it. I put everything back exactly as I'd found it. Then I called my brother. "Need a favor," I said. "What kind?" "Banking favor. You still work with that forensic accountant?" My brother was a CPA, dealt with fraud cases sometimes. "Yeah, why?" "I need someone to trace some accounts for me, quietly." "Tom, what's going on?" "Just need the help. Can you set up a meeting?" He was quiet for a moment. "This about Jennifer?" "Yeah." I knew something was off, the way she's been acting at family dinners. "Can you help or not?" "I'll make a call." 2 days later, I met with a forensic accountant. Her name was Rebecca Chen, sharp, professional, no nonsense. I showed her everything. The secret account, the transfers, the timeline. She looked through it all, making notes. "This is textbook divorce preparation," she said. "She's been hiding assets, building a nest egg you don't know about." "Can we trace where else the money went?" "Probably. Give me a week." I paid her retainer, left feeling like I'd just armed myself with a nuclear weapon. That evening, Jennifer came home with Sarah, her enabler friend. "Sarah's staying for dinner," Jennifer announced. "Great," I said, forcing a smile. Sarah looked uncomfortable. "Good." We ordered pizza, sat around the table making awkward small talk. "Tom, you've been so understanding about everything," Sarah said. "The late nights, the work stress. Not every husband would be so supportive." I looked at her. Really looked. She knew. Of course she knew. "I just want Jennifer to be happy," I said. "That's so sweet." Jennifer squeezed my hand. "He really is." After dinner, Sarah left. Jennifer went upstairs to change. I cleaned up, loaded the dishwasher, and thought about Sarah's role in all this. She wasn't just a friend, she was an accomplice. The next day, I did something I'd been avoiding. Not a divorce lawyer, not yet. A lawyer who specialized in asset protection. His name was Bill Monroe. Mid-50s, bald, no nonsense. My brother had used him during his divorce. "What can I do for you?" Bill asked, leaning back in his chair. "Hypothetically," I said, "if someone was planning to file for divorce and they wanted to make sure they protected their assets, what would they need to do?" Bill smiled. "Hypothetically?" "Hypothetically. They'd need documentation, bank statements, property records, evidence of separate assets versus marital assets, proof of any wrongdoing by the other party." "What kind of wrongdoing?" "Infidelity is big, especially if it can be proven. Courts don't love it, but it can impact asset division and spousal support." "What kind of proof would they need?" "Photos, messages, hotel receipts. The more, the better. But it has to be obtained legally. No hacking, no illegal surveillance." "What if the phone was just left unlocked?" Bill's smile widened. "Then that's not hacking, is it?" I left his office with a clear plan. I needed to document everything, not just for divorce, but for leverage. That night, Jennifer announced she'd be going to Napa with Sarah in 2 weeks. "The spa weekend?" I asked. "Yeah, Friday to Sunday. You sure you're okay with it?" "Of course. You deserve a break." "Thanks. You're being really great about all this." I smiled. "I want you to be happy." She hugged me, actually hugged me. "I appreciate that." I hugged her back, feeling her phone in her pocket, knowing exactly what was on it. The 2 weeks passed slowly. I kept playing the supportive husband, kept watching, kept documenting, and I started making some moves of my own. I opened a separate bank account, transferred a portion of my paycheck there each week, not enough to be obvious, just enough to build a cushion. I cataloged every asset we owned jointly, made copies of all our financial documents, stored everything in my encrypted cloud account. I even hired a private investigator, not a cheap one, a real professional. Her name was Linda, former cop. Ran her own firm now. "What do you need?" she asked when I met her at her office. "My wife is having an affair. I need it documented, professionally." "How much do you already have?" I showed her everything, the photos, the texts, the hotel receipts I'd found when I'd checked our credit card statements. Linda nodded. "This is good, but you need more." "Like what?" "Video would be better, something undeniable. And we need to find out more about him. The guy she's seeing? Ethan Crawford, you said?" "Yeah." "Let me run a background check. See what turns up." "How long will that take?" "A few days." I paid her retainer. Cash. The week before Jennifer's Napa trip, Linda called me with her report. "Your guy Ethan, he's got problems." "What kind of problems?" "Financial problems. He's leveraged to the limit. 3 properties, all mortgaged. Car is leased. Credit cards maxed. He's living way beyond his means." "Interesting. There's more. He's currently involved in a situation with another woman, married woman. Her husband found out last month. There was an incident." "What kind of incident?" "Police were called. No charges filed, but it's on record." "Send me everything." "Already in your email." I hung up and opened the files Linda had sent. Police report, financial records, property records. Ethan Crawford wasn't just a cheater, he was a walking disaster. And Jennifer had no idea. The night before her Napa trip, Jennifer was packing upstairs. I was downstairs, making dinner, when I heard her phone ring. She answered. I couldn't hear the words, but I could hear the tone. Flirty. Happy. I turned off the stove and walked quietly to the stairs. Her door was open. She was sitting on the bed, phone to her ear. "I can't wait either," she said. "It's going to be perfect." She laughed at something he said. I know. Soon, I promise." A pause. "I love you too." I walked back to the kitchen before she could catch me listening. When she came downstairs 20 minutes later, she looked guilty. Just for a second. "Who was that?" I asked casually. "Sarah. Just confirming plans for tomorrow." "Cool. Should be a fun weekend." "Yeah." We ate dinner mostly in silence. Jennifer kept checking her phone. I kept pretending not to notice. That night, I barely slept. Not because I was upset, because I was excited. The endgame was finally starting. The next morning, Jennifer left at 8. I helped her load her bag into her car. "Drive safe," I said. "I will. See you Sunday night." "See you Sunday." She kissed me on the cheek and drove off. I waited until her car turned the corner, then went inside and called Linda. "She's on the move," I said. I'm already on it. My associate is following her. We'll document everything. Good. Tom? Yeah? You sure you want to go through with this? Once we have everything, there's no going back. I'm sure. All right. I'll call you Sunday with the report. I spent the weekend alone, watched movies, cleaned the house, worked on some projects I'd been putting off. Didn't think about Jennifer, didn't think about Ethan, just waited. Sunday evening, my phone rang. Got everything, Linda said. And? She met him at a resort in Napa, Friday night through Sunday morning. We have photos of them checking in together, video of them having dinner, more photos of them Sunday morning at breakfast. Perfect. There's something else. What? He's cheating on her too. What? Saturday afternoon, while your wife was at the spa, he met up with another woman. We followed him, documented it all. I started laughing, couldn't help it. Tom? Sorry, that's just perfect. You want me to tell her? No, not yet. I'll handle it. All right, I'll send you everything tonight. Jennifer got home around 7. Tanned, relaxed, glowing. How was it? I asked. Amazing. So relaxing. Sarah and I really needed that. I'm glad. You look great. Thanks. How was your weekend? Quiet. Just hung around the house. She smiled, kissed my cheek, and went upstairs to unpack. I sat on the couch, opened my laptop, and looked at the files Linda had sent. Photos of Jennifer and Ethan, video clips, receipts, everything I needed, and more. Photos of Ethan with the other woman, close-ups, kissing, holding hands. I saved everything, backed it up, encrypted it. Then I closed my laptop and smiled, because now I wasn't just going to win the divorce. I was going to destroy both of them. Not a divorce lawyer? Not yet. A lawyer who specialized in asset protection. His name was Bill Monroe, mid-50s, bald, no nonsense. My brother had used him during his divorce. What can I do for you? Bill asked, leaning back in his chair. Hypothetically, I said. If someone was planning to file for divorce and they wanted to make sure they protected their assets, what would they need to do? Bill smiled. Hypothetically? Hypothetically. They'd need documentation, bank statements, property records, evidence of separate assets versus marital assets, proof of any wrongdoing by the other party. What kind of wrongdoing? Infidelity is big, especially if it can be proven. Courts don't love it, but it can impact asset division and spousal support. What kind of proof would they need? Photos, messages, hotel receipts? The more the better, but it has to be obtained legally. No hacking, no illegal surveillance. What if the phone was just left unlocked? Bill's smile widened. Then that's not hacking, is it? I left his office with a clear plan. I needed to document everything, not just for divorce, but for leverage. That night, Jennifer announced she'd be going to Napa with Sarah in 2 weeks. The spa weekend? I asked. Yeah. Friday to Sunday. You sure you're okay with it? Of course. You deserve a break. Thanks. You're being really great about all this. I smiled. I want you to be happy. She hugged me. Actually hugged me. I appreciate that. I hugged her back, feeling her phone in her pocket, knowing exactly what was on it. The 2 weeks passed slowly. I kept playing the supportive husband, kept watching, kept documenting, and I started making some moves of my own. I opened a separate bank account, transferred a portion of my paycheck there each week, not enough to be obvious, just enough to build a cushion. I cataloged every asset we owned jointly, made copies of all our financial documents, stored everything in my encrypted cloud account. I even hired a private investigator. Not a cheap one, a real professional. Her name was Linda, former cop, ran her own firm now. What do you need? She asked when I met her at her office. My wife is having an affair. I need it documented, professionally. How much do you already have? I showed her everything, the photos, the texts, the hotel receipts I'd found when I checked our credit card statements. Linda nodded. This is good, but you need more. Like what? Video would be better, something undeniable. And we need to find out more about him. The guy she's seeing, Ethan Crawford, you said? Yeah. Let me run a background check, see what turns up. How long will that take? A few days. I paid her retainer. Cash. The week before Jennifer's Napa trip, Linda called me with her report. Your guy Ethan, he's got problems. What kind of problems? Financial problems. He's leveraged to the limit. 3 properties, all mortgaged. Car is leased. Credit cards maxed. He's living way beyond his means. Interesting. There's more. He's currently involved in a situation with another woman, married woman. Her husband found out last month. There was an incident. What kind of incident? Police were called. No charges filed, but it's on record. Send me everything. Already in your email. I hung up and opened the files Linda had sent. Police report, financial records, property records. Ethan Crawford wasn't just a cheater, he was a walking disaster. And Jennifer had no idea. The night before her Napa trip, Jennifer was packing upstairs. I was downstairs, making dinner, when I heard her phone ring. She answered. I couldn't hear the words, but I could hear the tone. Flirty, happy. I turned off the stove and walked quietly to the stairs. Her door was open. She was sitting on the bed, phone to her ear. I can't wait either, she said. It's going to be perfect. She laughed at something he said. I know, soon, I promise. A pause. I love you too. I walked back to the kitchen before she could catch me listening. When she came downstairs 20 minutes later, she looked guilty. Just for a second. Who was that? I asked casually. Sarah, just confirming plans for tomorrow. Cool. Should be a fun weekend. Yeah. We ate dinner mostly in silence. Jennifer kept checking her phone. I kept pretending not to notice. That night, I barely slept. Not because I was upset, because I was excited. The endgame was finally starting. The next morning, Jennifer left at 8. I helped her load her bag into her car. Drive safe, I said. I will. See you Sunday night. See you Sunday. She kissed me on the cheek and drove off. I waited until her car turned the corner, then went inside and called Linda. She's on the move, I said. I'm already on it. My associate is following her. We'll document everything. Good. Tom? Yeah? You sure you want to go through with this? Once we have everything, there's no going back. I'm sure. All right. I'll call you Sunday with the report. I spent the weekend alone. Watched movies, cleaned the house, worked on some projects I'd been putting off. Didn't think about Jennifer. Didn't think about Ethan. Just waited. Sunday evening, my phone rang. Got everything, Linda said. And? She met him at a resort in Napa, Friday night through Sunday morning. We have photos of them checking in together, video of them having dinner, more photos of them Sunday morning at breakfast. Perfect. There's something else. What? He's cheating on her too. What? Saturday afternoon, while your wife was at the spa, he met up with another woman. We followed him. Documented it all. I started laughing. Couldn't help it. Tom? Sorry, that's just perfect. You want me to tell her? No, not yet. I'll handle it. All right. I'll send you everything tonight. Jennifer got home around 7. Tanned, relaxed, glowing. How was it? I asked. Amazing. So relaxing. Sarah and I really needed that. I'm glad. You look great. Thanks. How was your weekend? Quiet. Just hung around the house. She smiled, kissed my cheek, and went upstairs to unpack. I sat on the couch, opened my laptop, and looked at the files Linda had sent. Photos of Jennifer and Ethan, video clips, receipts, everything I needed, and more. Photos of Ethan with the other woman, close-ups, kissing, holding hands. I saved everything, backed it up, encrypted it. Then I closed my laptop and smiled. Because now I wasn't just going to win the divorce, I was going to destroy both of them. Jennifer filed for divorce 3 weeks later. Came home one evening with papers in hand, looking nervous but determined. We need to talk, she said. I was making dinner. Set down the knife. Turned to face her. Okay. I think we should separate. I didn't react. Just nodded slowly. Separate. Yeah. I've been thinking about it for a while. We're not happy. Either of us. We both know it. Do we? Come on, Tom. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. I'm not making it anything. I'm just surprised. Are you really? I shrugged. I guess not. She looked relieved, like she'd expected a fight and was grateful not to get one. I've already talked to a lawyer, she said. Drew up some papers. I think we can keep this simple. Split everything 50-50. No drama. You talked to a lawyer before talking to me? I wanted to have a plan. You know how I am. I did. Strategic. Always 3 moves ahead. Except she wasn't anymore. Can I see the papers? I asked. She handed them over. I skimmed through. Standard divorce petition, irreconcilable differences, request for equitable distribution of assets. Seems fair, I said. Really? Sure, if that's what you want. It is. Then okay. She looked confused. You're not going to fight me on this. Why would I? You're right. We're not happy. If this is what you need, then let's do it. Wow. Okay. I thought you'd be more upset. I'm upset, but I'm also realistic. No point dragging this out. She smiled. actually smiled. Thank you for being mature about this. No problem. That night, she slept in the guest room. Her choice. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, thinking about the next phase. The divorce was a distraction, a smokescreen. Jennifer thought she was in control, but she wasn't. She'd filed first. That was strategic, made her look decisive, gave her the narrative. But I had something she didn't. Information. The next day, I called Bill Monroe. She filed. I said, "You have the paperwork?" "Yeah." "Or bring it in. Let's take a look." I met him at his office that afternoon. He reviewed the petition, making notes. "Standard stuff," he said. "She's asking for 50-50 on everything. House, savings, retirement accounts. Can she do that?" "Depends. How much of this was earned during the marriage?" "Most of it." "Then yeah, probably, unless we can prove fault." "Infidelity." "Right. Which you can prove. Multiple times. Multiple locations. Multiple witnesses." Bill smiled. "Then we have leverage. But here's the thing. If you go nuclear with this, it gets messy. Court battles, depositions, public records." "I'm fine with messy." "Are you sure? Because once you start, there's no stopping it." "I'm sure." "All right. I'll draft a response. We'll counterclaim, request full disclosure of her assets, and we'll file a motion to introduce evidence of infidelity." "How long will this take?" "Months, maybe a year. Depends on how much she fights." "She'll fight." "Then buckle up." I left his office feeling lighter than I had in weeks. Jennifer thought the divorce was the endgame, but it was just the opening move. That night, she came home late, smelled like wine and perfume. "Where were you?" I asked. "Out with Sarah. Needed to decompress." "Right." She looked at me. "You have a problem with that?" "Nope." "You seem annoyed." "I'm not annoyed, just tired." She shrugged and went upstairs. I waited until I heard the guest room door close, then went to my laptop. Opened the file Linda had sent. Looked at the photos of Jennifer and Ethan at the resort. Then I opened a new folder. Started organizing everything by date, timestamps, locations, evidence, building a case. 2 weeks later, Bill's response was filed. Jennifer's lawyer called me directly. "Mr. Patterson, this is Amanda Hirsch. I represent your wife." "I know who you are. We need to talk about your counterclaim." "What about it?" "You're accusing my client of infidelity. That's a serious allegation." "It's also true." "You have proof?" "I do." "We'd like to see it." "You'll see it in discovery." "Mr. Patterson, Ms. Hirsch, your client filed for divorce. I'm responding. If she wants to keep this simple, she can withdraw her petition. Otherwise, we're going to court." "That's not going to happen." "Then I guess we'll see each other in front of a judge." I hung up. Jennifer called me 5 minutes later. "What the heck, Tom?" "What? You're accusing me of cheating? Are you denying it?" Silence. "I didn't think so," I said. "This is insane. You agreed to keep things simple." "No, I agreed to a divorce. I didn't agree to get screwed in the process." "You're being vindictive." "I'm being honest. I'm not giving you everything just because you're throwing a tantrum. I'm not asking for everything, just what's fair. This isn't fair. Neither is lying to me for 3 months. But here we are." She hung up. I sat there, phone in hand, feeling calm. The pieces were moving exactly where I needed them. About 8 weeks after the divorce filing, there was a knock on my door. I opened it. A woman stood there, mid-30s, tired eyes. "Tom Patterson?" she asked. "Yeah. I'm Emily Crawford, Ethan's sister." I felt my stomach drop. "Okay. Can I come in?" I let her in. Closed the door. "I don't know how to say this," she started, "but you need to know something about your wife." "I already know she's having an affair." Emily looked surprised. "You do?" "Yeah." "Then you know about the money." I paused. "What money?" "My brother has been borrowing money from women he's involved with. Tells them it's for business investments, never pays them back." "How much?" "From your wife?" "About 50,000. The room tilted. "What?" I managed. "He convinced her to loan him money for a property deal. Told her she'd double her investment. It's all lies. He's done this to 3 other women. I've been trying to warn people, but he keeps finding new ones." "Why are you telling me this?" "Because he's my brother, and I love him, but he's a liar, and you don't deserve to lose your money because your wife made a stupid mistake." She handed me a folder. Bank statements, loan agreements, signed by Jennifer. "I'm sorry," Emily said. "I really am." She left. I stood there, holding the folder, feeling everything shift. Jennifer hadn't just cheated. She'd stolen from our joint savings. $50,000 for Ethan's fake investment scheme. I called Bill Monroe immediately. "We need to file an emergency motion," I said. "Why?" "Because she embezzled $50,000 from our joint account." "Can you prove it?" "I have signed loan agreements." "Send them to me, now." I scanned everything, sent it. Then I sat down and called Linda. "I need you to dig deeper into Ethan Crawford," I said. "What am I looking for?" "Everything. Financial crimes, fraud, anything that'll bury him." "On it." That night, Jennifer came home late again. "We need to talk," I said. She stopped. "About what?" "About the $50,000 you gave to Ethan." Her face went white. "How did you—" "His sister told me, showed me the paperwork." "Tom, I can explain." "You stole from me, from us, for your boyfriend's fake business deal." "It's not fake. He's starting a company. I was just helping." "He's a con artist, Jennifer. He's done this to 3 other women. You're just the latest." She sat down hard. No, he wouldn't." "He did. And now you're going to pay me back. Every cent." "I don't have it." "Then you better figure it out, because my lawyer is filing an emergency motion tomorrow. The judge is going to freeze all our assets, and when we go to court, you're going to look like a thief and a fool." Tears started running down her face. "Tom, please." "No, you wanted a divorce. You got one. But you don't get to screw me over in the process." I left her there crying and went upstairs, closed the door, and smiled, because now the real game was beginning. Ethan Crawford called me 2 days later. I was at work when my phone rang, unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. 5 minutes later, he called again. This time I answered. "What? Is this Tom Patterson?" "Who's asking?" "Ethan Crawford. I think we need to talk." I stepped outside. "About what?" "About Jennifer, about this whole situation." "There's nothing to talk about." "Look, I know you're upset. I get it. But this doesn't have to be ugly." "You're right, it doesn't. All you have to do is pay back the $50,000 you stole." "I didn't steal anything. That was a legitimate investment." "Really? Where's her return?" Silence. "That's what I thought," I said. "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to pay back every cent, or I'm going to make your life very difficult." "Are you threatening me?" "I'm informing you. There's a difference. I could go to the police." "For what?" "I haven't done anything illegal. But you have. Fraud, theft by deception. I have all the documentation, including statements from the other women you've scammed." More silence. "You don't know what you're talking about," he said finally. "Try me." I hung up. My hands were shaking. Not from anger, from adrenaline. This was the first direct confrontation, the first time I'd stepped out of the shadows, and it felt good. That night, Jennifer showed up at the house. She'd moved out 2 weeks earlier, staying with Sarah, supposedly. "We need to talk," she said. "So talk." "Ethan said you called him." "He called me." "And you threatened him." I informed him of his options. "Tom, please. You don't understand. He's not what you think." "He's exactly what I think. He's a con artist. He took your money. Probably spent it already. He's going through a rough patch. The real estate market is tough right now." "Stop. Just stop. You sound like an idiot." She flinched. "Don't talk to me like that." "Why not? You lied to me, cheated on me, stole from me, and you're still defending him. I love him. You don't even know him. I know him better than you think." I pulled out my phone, opened the photos Linda had sent, the ones of Ethan with the other woman. "You know about her?" I asked, showing her the screen. Jennifer stared at the photo. "Who is that?" "Her name's Rachel, married. Ethan's been seeing her for 3 months, same time he's been seeing you." "That's not true." "It's on video, multiple meetings, hotels, restaurants. Want to see more?" Her face crumbled. "You're lying." "I'm not, and you know it." She sat down on the porch steps, started crying. Real tears this time. I stood there watching, feeling nothing. "He told me he loved me," she whispered. "He told you what you wanted to hear, just like he told Rachel, just like he told the other 3 women before you." I'm such an idiot. "Yeah, you are." She looked up at me. "What are you going to do?" "I'm going to get my money back, and then I'm going to make sure everyone knows what kind of person he is." "Tom, please, don't what? Ruin his life?" "He ruined ours." "He didn't ruin anything. I did that." Finally, some honesty. She stood up. I know you hate me. I deserve it. But please, don't go after him. He's already struggling. Not my problem. Tom, go home, Jennifer. We're done here. She left. I went inside, poured myself a drink, and sat in the dark. Phase 1 complete. Jennifer knew about Rachel. Her perfect affair was shattered. Now for Phase 2. The next day, I went to Ethan's office. Walked right in, past the receptionist, into his private office. He looked up from his computer. What are you doing here? We need to have a conversation. I don't have anything to say to you. That's fine. I'll do the talking. I closed the door, sat down across from him. Here's the situation, I said. You owe me $50,000. You have 2 options. Pay me back, or I go public with everything. Everything? The affair, the fraud, the other women, all of it. You can't prove anything. I pulled out a folder, set it on his desk. Bank statements, loan agreements, photos, video, statements from 3 other women you scammed, police reports from the incident last year. Should I keep going? His face went pale. Where did you get all this? Doesn't matter. What matters is I have it, and I'm prepared to use it. This is blackmail. No, blackmail is illegal. This is a civil matter. You owe me money. I'm collecting. I don't have $50,000. Then sell something, your car, your watch. Figure it out. And if I do, you'll go away? If you pay me back in full, I'll drop the civil suit. But the criminal charges, those are out of my hands. What criminal charges? The ones I'm filing with the district attorney's office. Fraud, theft, multiple counts. He stood up. Get out of my office. I stood too, leaned across his desk. You have 1 week, $50,000, cash or certified check. If I don't have it, I'm going to every client you've ever had, every brokerage, every listing site. I'm going to make sure everyone knows what you are. You can't do that. Watch me. I walked out, didn't look back. My phone started ringing before I even reached my truck. Jennifer. What did you do? She screamed. I collected what's owed. He called me. He's freaking out. Said you threatened him. I didn't threaten him. I gave him options. Tom, you can't do this. He'll lose his license, his business, everything. Good. Please, I'm begging you, stop this. Tell him to pay me back, then I'll stop. He doesn't have the money. Then he better find it. I hung up, blocked her number, drove home feeling lighter than I had in months. That weekend, Ethan showed up at my house. It was late, almost midnight. I was in bed when I heard the pounding on the door. I went downstairs, looked through the peephole. Ethan, looking desperate. I opened the door. What? I don't have the money, he said. Then we don't have anything to talk about. Please, you have to understand. I made mistakes, bad investments. I was trying to fix things. By scamming my wife? It wasn't a scam. It was a legitimate opportunity. It just didn't work out. You're a liar and a thief. I'll pay you back. I swear. Just give me time. You had time. It's over. I started to close the door. He put his hand on it. Don't, he said. Please. I'll lose everything. You should have thought about that before. Jennifer will never forgive you for this. I don't care. She loves me. I laughed. Actually laughed. No, she doesn't. She loves the idea of you, the fantasy. But that's over now. She knows about Rachel, knows about the others. She knows you're a fraud. His face twisted. You told her? I showed her, photos, video, everything. You're a monster. I'm not the one who's been lying and stealing. He took a step back. This isn't over. Yes, it is. I closed the door, locked it, heard him standing there for another minute before he finally left. I went back upstairs, got into bed, and smiled. Because Ethan Crawford was about to learn what it felt like to lose everything. The reviews started appearing 3 days later. Ethan's real estate profile, his business page, his listings, 1-star reviews, dozens of them. Dishonest. Scammer. Don't trust this man with your money. Each one detailed, specific, citing dates, amounts, names. I didn't write them. The other women did. The ones Linda had tracked down. The ones Ethan had scammed before Jennifer. I just put them in touch with each other, showed them they weren't alone. They did the rest. Within a week, Ethan's business was tanking. Clients pulling listings, brokerages distancing themselves, professional associations investigating. Jennifer called me. I'd unblocked her number. Wanted to hear this. You destroyed him, she said. He destroyed himself. People are saying terrible things. His career is over. Good. How can you be so cold? Easy. I learned from you. She was quiet for a long time. I know you hate me, But he didn't deserve this. He deserved worse. I'm not paying you back the money. I don't have it. I know. That's why I'm taking it from the divorce settlement. You can't do that. Bill says I can. Marital assets stolen through fraud. It all comes out of your share. That's not fair. Life's not fair. You taught me that too. I hung up. That night, Bill called with an update. Judge ruled in our favor, he said. The $50,000 gets deducted from her settlement, plus penalties, plus my fees. How much does she get? After everything, about 30% of the total assets. And me? 70%, plus the house, plus your retirement accounts stay intact. I closed my eyes. Thank you. Thank me by never getting married again. I laughed. Deal. 2 days later, Jennifer showed up at the house again, this time with someone else, her sister, Patricia. You need to stop this, Patricia said. Stop what? Destroying my sister's life. I'm not destroying anything. I'm just making things fair. Fair? You're taking everything. She stole from me, lied to me, cheated on me. And you're mad because I'm holding her accountable? Patricia stepped closer. She made mistakes. She admits that. But what you're doing is cruel. What I'm doing is legal. You're enjoying this. Maybe a little. You're sick. No, I'm done being a victim. Jennifer had been standing back, quiet. Now she spoke. I'm sorry, she said. I looked at her. Really looked. She'd lost weight. Looked tired. Older. For what? I asked. Everything. The affair, the money, the lies, all of it. Okay. That's it? Just okay? What do you want me to say? I want you to forgive me. No. Tom, you don't get forgiveness. You get consequences. Patricia grabbed Jennifer's arm. Come on. We're leaving. They walked toward the car. Jennifer stopped, turned back. You were right, she said. About Ethan. About everything. I was an idiot. Yeah, you were. I hope someday you can let go of this anger. I'm not angry. I'm just finished. She nodded, got in the car. They drove away. I stood there for a minute, then went inside. The house felt different, quieter, cleaner, mine. The divorce proceedings moved forward. Court dates, depositions, financial disclosures. Jennifer's lawyer tried everything. He claimed I was pressuring her, controlling, vindictive. Bill countered with evidence, photos, messages, bank records, witness testimony. The judge wasn't impressed with Jennifer's claims. At one hearing, Jennifer's lawyer played the sympathy card. Your Honor, my client made mistakes, but Mr. Patterson's behavior since then has been cruel and calculated. He systematically destroyed her reputation and her boyfriend's career. The judge looked at me. Mr. Patterson, do you have a response? Bill stood up. Your Honor, my client has done nothing but document the truth. Mrs. Patterson committed adultery. She embezzled $50,000 from their joint account. Her boyfriend is a known con artist with multiple victims. These are facts, not attacks. But the campaign of harassment? There's been no harassment. My client installed security cameras on his own property after someone broke into his house. That person was Mr. Crawford, who was subsequently arrested. Everything Mr. Patterson has done has been legal and justified. The judge nodded. I tend to agree. Motion denied. Jennifer started crying. Her lawyer put a hand on her shoulder. But I felt nothing. No satisfaction, no pity, just cold determination. After the hearing, Jennifer caught me in the hallway. Are you happy now? She asked. Not particularly. You've destroyed everything. My career, my relationship, my reputation. You did that. I just made sure people knew about it. I made mistakes. I admit that. But what you're doing is vindictive. No, vindictive would be lying about you. I'm just telling the truth. The truth? You've turned everyone against me. I haven't turned anyone. I've just shown them who you really are. She stared at me for a long moment. I used to love you. No, you didn't. You loved what I provided. Stability, security, a comfortable life. But you never loved me. That's not true, isn't it? When's the last time you asked me about my day, my thoughts, my dreams? You stopped seeing me as a person years ago. I was just a supporting character in your story. She had no response to that. I have to go, I said. I walked away. Didn't look back. The next week, I heard through Linda that Ethan had left town, moved in with his mother in another state. His real estate business was officially closed, his licenses revoked. Jennifer had to take a lower position at her marketing firm, her reputation damaged. The clients no longer wanted to work with her. Sarah stopped talking to her. Turned out Sarah had just been using Jennifer for entertainment, drama. Once Jennifer became the source of the drama, Sarah wanted nothing to do with her. Jennifer was alone, and part of me felt bad about that, but only a small part, because everything that happened to her was a direct result of her choices. I didn't make her cheat, I didn't make her steal, I didn't make her lie. I just made sure there were consequences. The final divorce hearing was scheduled for a Tuesday morning in late October. I wore a suit, got there early. Bill met me outside the courtroom. "You ready?" he asked. "Yeah." Jennifer's lawyer called me this morning. They want to settle. On what terms? They'll accept the 70-30 split, waive spousal support, drop all claims against you. In exchange, you agree not to pursue criminal charges for the embezzlement. I thought about it. And Ethan? He's already facing charges for the attempted burglary. The fraud complaints from the other women are proceeding. He's done regardless. Then yes, let's settle. You sure? We could push for more. No, this is enough. I just want it over. Bill nodded. I'll let them know. The settlement was signed in the judge's chambers. Jennifer didn't even look at me, just signed the papers, took her copy, left. I stood there with Bill, holding my copy, feeling strange. Congratulations, Bill said. You won. Yeah. You don't sound happy. I'm not unhappy, just tired. That's normal. Divorce is exhausting, even when you win. We walked out together. Bill shook my hand. If you ever need anything, call me. Thanks. For everything. My pleasure. You were a good client. Knew what you wanted, stayed focused. That made my job easy. I drove home. The house felt different. Empty, but not in a bad way. Just quiet. I poured myself a drink, sat on the couch, and realized I didn't know what to do next. For months, I'd been focused on one thing. The divorce. The revenge. Making Jennifer and Ethan pay for what they'd done. And now it was over. They'd lost. I'd won. But winning felt hollow. Not because I regretted it, but because there was nothing left to fight for. Over the next few weeks, things moved fast. The divorce was finalized. I got 70% of everything. The house, my retirement, most of the savings. Jennifer moved into an apartment across town. Small, cheap, alone. Ethan's real estate license was suspended. Investigation pending. He'd moved back in with his mother, started driving for a rideshare company. And I went back to my normal life. Work, friends, routines. Except now, everything felt lighter. One evening, I was at a bar downtown, just having a beer, watching a game. Someone sat down next to me. Tom Patterson? I turned. A guy in his 40s. Wedding ring. Tired eyes. Yeah? My name's Derek. I heard what you did to Ethan Crawford. Okay. My wife was seeing him 2 years ago, before we separated. He took $20,000 from her. I'm sorry. Don't be. I just wanted to say thank you for exposing him, for making sure other people knew what he was. He shook my hand, bought me a beer, then left. I sat there staring at my drink, thinking about everything that had happened, the lies, the betrayal, the revenge. All of it felt distant now, like it had happened to someone else. But it had been worth it, every moment, every move, every consequence, because I'd won. Not just the divorce, not just the money. I'd won my dignity back, and that was worth more than anything. 3 months after the divorce was finalized, I got a call from Linda. You need to see something, she said. What? Just meet me. Coffee shop on 5th Street. 1 hour. I drove there, found her at a corner table. She had a folder. What is this? I asked, sitting down. Information about Ethan. I don't care about Ethan anymore. You will when you hear this. She opened the folder, showed me photos. Ethan, with another woman, younger, early 20s. Who's that? Her name's Kayla, 22, works at a bank. He's been dating her for 3 weeks. So she has access to client accounts, and he's been asking questions. I stared at the photos. He's setting up another scam. Looks like it. Why are you telling me this? Because you have a choice. You can walk away, let her become another victim, or you can stop him. I sat back, thought about it. I'd already destroyed Ethan's career, his reputation, his life. Was that enough? Or did I owe it to this girl to stop him before he ruined her too? I took the folder. What's her name again? Kayla Morrison. Where does she work? Linda told me. I finished my coffee and left. That night, I looked up Kayla on social media, found her accounts, saw her posts, happy, optimistic, in love, just like Jennifer had been. I drafted a message, deleted it, wrote another one. Hi, Kayla. You don't know me, but I need to tell you something about Ethan Crawford. I attached the photos, the documents, everything. Then I hit send and waited. She responded 2 hours later. Who are you? I told her. Everything. The affair, the money, the other women. She didn't believe me at first, asked for proof. I sent more photos, more documents, bank statements, legal filings. Then silence. 30 minutes later, thank you. That was it. I closed my laptop, poured myself a bourbon, sat in the dark. The next day, Ethan called. What did you do? What I should have done from the beginning. Kayla broke up with me, said I was a liar, that you told her everything. I did. Why can't you just leave me alone? Because guys like you don't stop. You just find new victims. I wasn't going to scam her. I cared about her. You don't care about anyone but yourself. You destroyed my life. Isn't that enough? Apparently not. I'm warning you. Stay out of my business. Or what? You'll sue me? You'll call the police? Go ahead. I haven't done anything illegal. He hung up. I sat there, phone in hand, waiting. 10 minutes later, my doorbell rang. I opened it. Ethan, standing on my porch, face red, hands shaking. We need to talk, he said. No, we don't. You can't keep doing this to me. I can do whatever I want. I'll go to the police. Tell them you're harassing me. Go ahead. I have documentation of everything you've done. Multiple victims, multiple crimes. You think they'll care about your harassment claim? He stepped closer. You think you've won, but you haven't. You're just as miserable as I am. Maybe, but at least I'm honest about it. You're a coward, hiding behind lawyers and private investigators. You couldn't even confront me like a man. I'm confronting you now. Because you think you're safe. Because you think I won't do anything. Will you? He stared at me, breathing hard. Then he took a swing. I saw it coming. Ducked. His fist hit the door frame. He screamed, grabbed his hand. Bad idea, I said. He swung again. This time I stepped back. He stumbled forward, off balance. I didn't hit him back. Didn't need to. He fell, hard, hit the porch steps. You're pathetic, I said. He looked up at me, tears in his eyes. I have nothing left. No career. No money. No one. You took everything. No. You did that yourself. I just made sure everyone knew about it. He stood up slowly, cradling his hand. This isn't over. Yes, it is. I closed the door, heard him standing there for a minute. Then footsteps, his car starting, driving away. I locked the door, went upstairs, got into bed, and for the first time in months, I slept through the night. The next morning, I woke up and went about my day like nothing had happened, went to work, came home. But I knew Ethan would retaliate somehow. Men like him always did when cornered. 2 days later, I got an email from an anonymous account. The subject line, "You should know the truth." I opened it. Inside were photos of me, following Ethan's car, sitting outside his office, watching his building. Someone had been watching me while I watched him. The email continued, "Stop harassing Ethan Crawford or these photos go to the police. You're stalking him. Leave him alone or face the consequences." I printed the email, forwarded it to Bill and Linda. Within an hour, Linda called me back. "This is good news," she said. "How is this good news?" "Because now we have proof he knows you have evidence. He's trying to intimidate you into backing down. That's witness tampering. It strengthens your case." "What should I do?" "Nothing. Don't respond. Let him think it worked. Meanwhile, I'll trace the email, find out who sent it." 2 days later, Linda had an answer. The email came from a public library computer, but I pulled security footage. Want to guess who was there? Ethan. Bingo. He's not as smart as he thinks. I smiled. Add it to the file. That weekend, something else happened. I came home from grocery shopping to find my front door unlocked. I always locked it. Always. I pushed it open slowly. "Hello?" No response. I walked through the house. Nothing seemed disturbed. Nothing missing. But someone had been inside. In my office, I found it. A note on my desk. "You think you've won, but this isn't over. Be careful." No signature. Printed, not handwritten. I took photos of everything. Called the police. Filed a report. The officer who responded was skeptical. "Nothing's missing? Nothing damaged?" "No, but someone broke in." Any idea who? My wife's boyfriend. We're in the middle of a divorce. He's been harassing me. The officer made notes. We'll increase patrols in the area, but without evidence of forced entry or anything stolen, there's not much we can do. I understand. After he left, I called Linda again. He broke into my house? You sure it was him? Who else would it be? Can you prove it? No, but I know. Then let's get proof. I'm going to install security cameras at your place. Front door, back door, windows, everything. How soon? Tomorrow. The cameras went in the next day, hidden. Professional grade, motion activated. And 3 nights later, they caught something. 2:47 a.m. A figure approached my back door, tried the handle. When it didn't open, they tried a window. The motion sensor triggered. Lights came on, the figure ran. But not before the camera got a clear shot of their face. Ethan Crawford. I called the police again, this time with video evidence. They arrested him the next morning. Jennifer called me, screaming. What did you do? I protected my property. He broke into my house. He said he was just checking on you. At 3 a.m? Through my back window? You're ruining his life. He ruined his own life. I'm just documenting it. She hung up. Ethan was released on bail 6 hours later, charged with attempted burglary. Court date set for 3 weeks out, but the damage was done. The arrest showed up on background checks. His real estate license was officially suspended pending investigation. And more importantly, it showed everyone what kind of person he really was. A desperate, stupid criminal. The reviews on his business page multiplied, former clients sharing stories, other women coming forward with their own experiences. Ethan Crawford's reputation was destroyed, and I'd barely lifted a finger. The next morning, I got a call from Bill. Ethan filed a restraining order against you. On what grounds? Harassment, threats, says you've been following him, intimidating him. None of that's true. I know, but we need to respond. Can you come in this afternoon? Yeah. I hung up, smiled. Ethan was desperate, grasping at straws, which meant I'd won. Completely. That afternoon, I met Bill at his office. We drafted a response. Included all the documentation, all the evidence. Judge will throw this out, Bill said. Ethan doesn't have a case. Good. But Tom. Yeah? This needs to end. Eventually. You can't keep going after him forever. I'm not going after him. I'm just making sure he doesn't hurt anyone else. There's a line. Be careful you don't cross it. I nodded. But I didn't agree. Because Ethan Crawford had crossed every line there was, and he deserved everything coming to him. 2 weeks later, the restraining order was denied. Judge called it frivolous. Ethan's lawyer withdrew from the case. Too many red flags, too much liability. Ethan was alone now. No lawyer, no support, no options. And I still wasn't done. I called Jennifer, first time in months. What do you want? She asked. I want you to know something. What? Ethan tried to scam another woman, 22 years old. I stopped him. Silence. You're still going after him? Someone has to. Tom, please, just let it go. Why? So he can hurt someone else? He's suffered enough. Has he? Has he really? Yes, he's broke, unemployed, living with his mother. What more do you want? I want him to understand what he did. I want him to feel what I felt, what you made me feel. This isn't about me anymore. This is about you, your anger, your need for control. Maybe, but it's also about making sure he never does this again. You can't control everything, Tom. Watch me. I hung up. That night, I sat in my house, the house Jennifer used to live in, the house that was mine now, and I thought about what she'd said. Was this still about revenge, or was it about something else? I poured myself a drink, sat in the dark, thought about Ethan, about Jennifer, about everything that had happened, and I realized something. I wasn't angry anymore. I was satisfied. The revenge was complete. Ethan was destroyed. Jennifer had lost everything she valued. I'd won. But more than that, I'd proven something to myself, that I wasn't weak, wasn't a victim, wasn't someone people could just use and discard. I was stronger than both of them, and that was worth everything. The next morning, I got one more call from Linda. It's done, she said. What's done? Ethan filed for bankruptcy, lost his last property. His mother kicked him out. He's moving to another state, starting over. I sat down. Where's he going? Does it matter? I guess not. So this is it? You're done? Yeah, I'm done. Good, because honestly, Tom, you were starting to scare me. I laughed. Sorry. Don't be. Just promise me you'll move on. Find someone new. Be happy. I'll try. Good luck. She hung up. I sat there, phone in hand, thinking about what came next. For months, I'd been focused on one thing: revenge, justice, making things right. But now that it was over, I wasn't sure what to do. So I did the only thing I could think of. I went to work, lived my life, moved forward. And slowly, over time, the anger faded. The satisfaction remained because I'd done something most people never do. I'd won, completely, finally. And no one, not Jennifer, not Ethan, not anyone, could ever take that away from me. 6 weeks after Ethan left town, I was home one evening when my doorbell rang. I opened it. Jennifer, looking different, thinner, older, broken. "Can I come in?" she asked. "Why?" "I need to talk to you." "We've said everything." "Please." I stepped aside, let her in. She sat on the couch. I stood. "What do you want?" I asked. "I wanted to apologize. Really apologize for everything." "Okay. And I wanted to tell you something you deserve to know." "What?" "Ethan contacted me last week, from wherever he is, asked if I wanted to get back together." I felt my stomach tighten. "What did you say?" I told him no. Told him to never contact me again. "Why?" "Because you were right. About him, about everything. He's a liar, a user. And I was too stupid to see it." "Okay." She looked up at me. "I know you hate me. I deserve it. But I want you to know. I understand now what I threw away. What we had, what I destroyed. We had nothing, Jennifer. Not really. You made sure of that. I know, and I'm sorry. Your apology doesn't change anything. I know." She stood up, walked toward the door, stopped. "You got what you wanted," she said. "You destroyed both of us." "I didn't destroy you. You did that yourself?" "Maybe, but you enjoyed watching it happen." "Maybe I did." She opened the door, looked back one more time. "I hope you find happiness someday, Tom. Real happiness, not just revenge. I already have." She left. I closed the door, locked it, stood there for a minute. Then I went to the kitchen, made myself dinner, ate alone, and realized something. I didn't need Jennifer's apology, didn't need her regret. I didn't need anything from her at all, because I'd already taken everything that mattered, my dignity, my pride, my life back, and that was enough. That night, I slept better than I had in years. No dreams, no nightmares, no thoughts of Jennifer or Ethan, just peace. And in the morning, when I woke up, I knew it was finally over. The revenge was complete, the story was finished, and I could finally move on. But as I stood in my kitchen, making coffee, I heard a car pull up outside. Looked out the window. Ethan's BMW, parked in my driveway. He got out, walked toward my door. I opened it before he could knock. "What are you doing here?" I asked. "I came to give you this." He handed me an envelope. Thick, heavy. I opened it. Cash. Bundles of bills. 50,000, he said. Every cent. I stared at the money. "Where did you get this?" "Sold everything. My watch, my car, everything I had left." "Why?" "Because I can't live with this anymore. The guilt, the shame. I need to make things right." I looked at him. Really looked. He was different. Thinner, tired, broken. "This doesn't change anything," I said. "I know, but it's a start." He turned to leave. I grabbed his arm. "Wait." He stopped. "You need to understand something," I said. "This isn't over, not because of me, but because of who you are. You'll do this again, to someone else, and when you do, I'll know. I won't, I swear. You will, because guys like you always do. Then stop me." "What?" "If I do it again, stop me, like you did before." I let go of his arm. "Get out of here." He nodded, walked back to his car, drove away. I stood there holding the envelope, watching him disappear down the street. Then I went inside, closed the door, and counted the money. 50,000. Exactly. I called Bill. "He paid me back," I said. "What? How?" "Doesn't matter. It's done." "So now what?" "Now nothing. It's over." "You sure?" "Yeah, I'm sure." I hung up, put the money in my safe, poured myself a bourbon, and sat down in my living room. Alone, victorious, finally at peace. The next morning, I woke up and everything felt different, lighter, cleaner, free. I got dressed, went to work, came home, normal life. No revenge, no schemes, no games, just existence. And for the first time in over a year, that was enough. Because I'd won. Not just against Jennifer, not just against Ethan, but against myself. Against the part of me that wanted to stay angry, stay bitter, stay in the past. I'd moved on, and that was the final victory, the only one that mattered. I stood in my kitchen that evening, making dinner, and I smiled, because tomorrow was a new day, and I was ready for it. Whatever came next, whatever life threw at me, I was ready, because I'd survived the worst, and come out stronger. That was all I needed to know. The doorbell rang one last time. I opened it. No one there. Just an envelope on the porch. I picked it up, opened it. Photos of Ethan, with another woman, different woman, younger, and a note. He's doing it again. Thought you should know. No signature. I looked at the photos for a long time. Then I walked to the fireplace, threw them in, watched them burn, and closed that chapter forever. Because some battles aren't worth fighting, some people aren't worth saving, and some victories are best achieved by walking away. I turned off the lights, went upstairs, got into bed, and finally, after everything, I let it all go. The anger, the hurt, the need for revenge, all of it. Gone. And in its place, nothing but peace. That's how I won. Not by destroying them, but by refusing to let them destroy me. And that was enough. More than enough. It was everything.